Welcome to Roanoke County Business Partners. Our show has 3 unique programs today. The first one is Magnets USA, and it's all about a new company coming in, renovating an old building and bringing it back to life, and the celebration by the business and its employees. And that takes place in the town of Vinton. Our second segment focuses on the violence in the workplace workshops that we've been sponsoring in the Active Shooters series. It's a collaboration between the Roanoke County Police Department and Economic Development for the business community. And our final segment is again celebrating a grand opening of the Walmart neighborhood markets. So stay tuned. I think you're really going to enjoy this.
Have you ever wanted to find a book, read the latest issue of a magazine, or do research at your local library on a Sunday? Well, now you can. Our South County and Vinton libraries are now open from 1 to 5 on Sunday afternoons. This means that you'll have access to our extensive collection of books, DVDs, and audiobooks, as well as our library's many computers and, of course, our friendly, helpful staff. We want to be part of your Sunday afternoons. For more information, contact the South County or Vinton libraries.
Welcome to Roanoke County Business Partners. Today we are in the town of Vinton on 3rd Street in the Vinton Industrial Park, and we are at Magnets USA, the newest addition to the business community in Vinton. And joining me right now is Dale Turner, who is the founder of this company. He's also Vice President of Sales and Marketing. And next to me is Alan Turner, who is President of Magnets USA. So gentlemen, this is a big day, and I don't mean just a big day normally. This is a really big day because this is your grand opening. You just relocated to Vinton, and you brought this beautiful business in. But before we get into that, let's talk about the two of you. Dale, tell us about your first product. Where did you get the idea, and what was it?
Well, it came from another job that I worked, and we used that material. It's a magnet material with adhesive, and so I had the idea back in 1990, why didn't people just make their own magnetic business cards? Because back then, printing wasn't where it is today, and you had to spend $150 at the minimum for 500 magnets. So I started cut it into pieces for the size of business cards and went down Williamson Road and called on businesses and made magnets for them and sold 100 packs of magnets for $19.95, and that was my test market.
Oh wow, that's wonderful, and it happened right here in the Roanoke Valley. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Cool.
And so from there, we moved into other products, the calendars. Alan came to help because we were doing so well with calendars. I could afford to pay him. And then with Alan's help, expertise in production, we moved on to sports schedules and other products that we sell today. And now we're doing plastics and other related products too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, tell us about your newest product line. That's what I want to hear about.
It's called Lifelong Cutlery, and we're very excited about it because it's a high quality cutlery. The steel is high carbon steel from Germany, and people love the design, and we can engrave business information on the knives, and they come in gift boxes that people love. So it's great corporate gifts, it's great closing gifts, and I love the knives myself. Alan says I'm a knife snob.
Very innovative though, yeah.
So we import them directly because, like I said, they're German steel, and we're able to sell them at a great price, and we have our own engraver, and we do the rest of the work here.
Well, let's take your knife snobbery here and talk about what we did with it today. This is a great segue because we had the grand opening earlier today, but we just didn't do a ribbon cutting at Magnets USA today. We did a knife cutting, and it was amazing. We used your Asian cleaver.
Right.
No one got hurt. It was a smash success. We had one of the original fire trucks built in this building that we'll get to later as a backdrop, and it was just beautiful. And as our viewing audience can see on the screen right now, they'll be able to see what a great event it was and how exciting it was. So thank you for developing that new product line. That was just perfect for this event, you know?
Yeah, there's no telling what a simple idea might turn into one day.
That's exactly right. Well, let's leave that and talk a minute about your employees, because you brought all the employees out to be part of this moment with your 25th anniversary and your grand opening. How many employees do you have in the building right now?
60.
60?
Yep.
That's a good size, but the exciting part is you're getting ready to hire how many more?
There's no telling how
There's
many
no
more.
telling, okay. But you approached we got together with you and talked about it and said you're a new business, you're going to be hiring, we want to help you, and so we went to the state and got some training funds from the Virginia Jobs Investment Partnership with Debbie Melvin, and it's just been a wonderful partnership, and I think they're going to be sending you a nice check in the future, so congratulations,
well, thank
gentlemen.
you.
We appreciate that very much. And that's not all we appreciate. This building means a lot to the folks in Vinton. It was the Grumman fire truck manufacturing plant, and so many people worked in this building. So many people had families that worked in this building, and so, you know, for a while it was empty, then we had another business in here, and then they left, and now you've picked up the torch and carried it. So tell us what you did in this building. You've renovated it.
Well, first thing we did was clean out everything. There were some structures around, and we closed the bay doors. When you have fire trucks being made, moved in and out, you have a lot of bay doors.
Exactly.
So we closed most of those. We have environmentally controlled this entire building. When you print and you do a lot of the paper kinds of things, humidity can be a problem to go from up and down and so forth. So we have a humidity control system as well as the heat and air that you would normally have. So this building...
Now you're downplaying that. You are climate controlling 45,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
That's a big deal. That's a real big deal.
We keep it at 52% humidity.
Do you?
Yep.
Tell us about the misters.
Well, there's a system of... it distills water, and then it pumps that water through a series of pipes that go from one end of the building to the other.
In the ceiling.
In the ceiling. And as humidity goes down, it will mist out a very, very fine spray of water. And that dissipates very quickly. It's a specialized kind of nozzle for those. And it almost sounds like I'm hearing it going off now.
Oh, cool. All right, great. It is coming off. That is amazing, because you've got some high-tech equipment in here, and it doesn't phase it at all.
It doesn't phase it at all. We have our digital presses and our die cutters and things like that. The main piece is if the humidity changes in paper, it'll curl and do different things that make your product not handle well in other workstations.
Yeah.
So that we expect that to save us a lot of reprints and things like that. So,
but this is an amazing thing that you've done. I know I've overused the word amazing, but to take 45,000 square feet and climate control it, but that's big. But then you had a couple of other interesting mysteries going on, like the vault. Would one of you tell us about the vault?
Well, back in the paint area, the paint bays, what used to be paint bays, there was a vault with double doors on it, and what we've done is we've utilized that as our server room, but we've been trying to figure out exactly what in the world would they need a vault for
in a fire truck plant.
Yes. And as it turns out, they did gold leaf kinds of things on fire engine for numbering and things like that. So they had to have a place to store that that gold,
because that's very expensive.
Yep. So it serves very well as our server room for we have a number of servers in there, and we can lock that, and it's a secure area, and it works great for us. And so
that's a bonus.
It's had quite a change of use there. But
well, now, how many different divisions do you have in this building? Because you do everything under one roof, don't you?
Yes.
We're in the production area right now, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we have our graphics department, our marketing department, our IT department. The big piece, the biggest group of people is out here in the warehouse, and the very biggest is the call center. With
That's right. You have your own call center in the building. Yeah.
Yep.
So that makes a big deal too. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, one of the facts was they handle 240,000 calls a year.
You do?
Yes.
I didn't realize it was that many. That's huge.
When you have 35,000 customers that you're talking to, you've got to talk
That's
to
right.
them quite a few times.
That's exactly right. And is it good for you to have this Mid-Atlantic location for shipping out your product?
It is a good location from the north-south perspective. East-west is a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
But we've worked a deal with FedEx, and we can ship 3 days coast to coast. So
Sure.
So that helps.
That works out nice.
Yeah, typically would be a 5-day turnaround. So we've
Now-
been able to shorten that.
You know, there's so many things I should brag about you about because in 2010 you were the Business of the Year with the Regional Chamber. That's how I learned about Magnets USA, that you were in the Valley. And then you've gotten so involved from a community perspective, like you did the Drumstick Dash with the rescue mission last fall. So what's your company philosophy on being involved in the community?
Well, we really love to have our employees involved in as many things as possible, and we try to support them. If they want to donate to a charity, we will match that donation. We do different kinds of things for them in that way. We've been heavily involved with the rescue mission.
Yes.
And have some really nice things going on there. It's such a great community, and there's so many things that we can do. We donate magnets and paper and things like that to the schools. And
thank you. We appreciate y'all doing that too.
Maybe you can help us channel those even better if we're.
Hey, I'm at your service. You just let me know. Between the town of Vinton, the county of Roanoke, and the Vinton Chamber, we're all here for you. You just let us know what you need. We'll make it happen.
Well, let us know what the schools need would be very nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're glad to.
We'd be
some of
very
those
happy to do
materials
that.
are it's very useful, and the kids love them.
Well, that says so much. I mean, here you've come in here and you've brought this beautiful historic building back to life. We thank you for that. You're going to be creating new jobs. We thank you for that. You retained 60 jobs. That's a big deal. You also hire contract people during your peak season. We thank you for that. You know, you had this wonderful celebration today. You're involved in the community. You give in the community. So you not only are great corporate partners, business partners, but you're leaders in the community when you start taking on the aspect of taking care of the community at the same time. So we thank you both for being with us today. We thank you for this beautiful building, and we look forward to working with you for another 25 years, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you.
Our pleasure. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Have you ever wanted to make a difference in the life of an animal but didn't know how? The Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection is looking for volunteers to assist with the daily care of their animals. Volunteer opportunities include cat socialization, dog walking, front desk or kennel assistant, off-site adoption events, rescue networking, or shelter photography. As a volunteer, your time and talents will make a difference in the life of an animal. For more information on how to become a volunteer, call or email the Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection.
Welcome back to Roanoke County Business Partners. We're in the South County Library, and joining me now is Roanoke County Chief of Police, Howard Hall. Chief, great to have you on the program.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Well, I hate to ask the obvious, but I'm going to start. We have been doing violence in the workplace workshops. We finished 2 out of 3. It's from the Active Shooter series. And the obvious is, why is this important for us to be joining forces and doing this in the community?
Well, unfortunately, active shooter is a reality.
Yes, it is.
It's not confined to large cities or any place in particular. They can happen anywhere.
Yes.
So our initiative around trying to keep people in the Roanoke Valley safe has been to work with, in this case, the business community to help them think through and prepare for an incident if it were to occur here.
Right. And the statistics were really surprising to me that showed that it happens more in the business community.
It does. incidents that get the most media tend to be around schools.
Of course.
But the FBI did released some numbers at the end of last year that included the year 2000 through the year 2013, and it was right around 160 total incidents during that period of time. 45% of them were in commercial types of locations, so businesses, stores, that type of thing, where only about 25% of them were actually in schools.
That's a surprising statistic, but I think it just pulls on our heartstrings so much when it happens in a school that we probably focus on that a little bit more.
Right, I think you're right. And I think, you also need to think about the types of situations that can lead to an active shooter. Of course, the ones that make the news the most are, someone going into a school, acts of terrorism, whether it be, localized or international terrorism. But this can also occur around a disgruntled customer that has some sort of dispute or axe to grind with somebody and goes in. It can result from an employee situation, perhaps a terminated employee who has a grudge, or even a domestic violence situation where someone in the workplace, in the business, is involved in a bad domestic situation and the aggressor knows where they work. That provides them with access to that potential victim. So all those things contribute to those total numbers.
The domestic violence, you don't think about that. I mean, when you hear it on the news, it makes sense because somebody went in after a spouse or something,
right.
But you don't think about that being the cause of what would happen in the business community. So with you training the business community, it really makes a difference. What you're teaching these businesses, they can use in every facet of life, can't they?
Right, we really want them to have an understanding of the scenarios that can occur, some things that they can do to prepare and hopefully prevent an incident from occurring. And then, of course, if an unfortunate incident occurs and they do have to deal with it, to have some plans for what to do and to understand what we're going to do in terms of a police response.
Exactly. Well, where do you see this kind of training going in the community in the future?
Well, to some degree, depends on demand. This
Yes.
was something that
We had a great demand. I was floored. I was absolutely
right.
floored.
The turnout has been great. They've come from around the valley, so it hasn't been just a Roanoke County response. I think what we have to do, once we get through the series, is take a look at how it went, try to get a sense for what the demand is. There's certainly potential to involve the other law enforcement agencies in the region to help with this. I'm pretty certain that they'd be interested in doing that for their communities as well.
Exactly.
And then the real bottom line is, particularly from the business perspective, trying to help our business community be successful and keep their employees and their customers safe, while they're at work and while they're doing their shopping and carrying out their day-to-day business.
I like that, and that's a wonderful wrap-up. Thank you for doing that, because economic development has been very honored to be part of this. We thank the police department for being our partner on this, because it not only makes everybody safer, but it also strengthens the ties between the business community and local government, and it also does a lot to increase the two-way communication. So those are goals of our program. We appreciate that, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Okay. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Roco Alert is Roanoke County's new citizen alert and warning system. In the event of a local emergency or disaster, Roanoke County will contact all landline telephones in the county's 911 database with any important information and instructions you need to know. To receive notifications from Roco Alert via email, on your cell phone or VoIP phone, you'll need to set up an online account. There's no cost for citizens to sign up, but phone usage or text charges may apply. Go to RoanokeCountyVA.gov/RocoAlert and sign up today.
Welcome back to South County. We are now talking to Sergeant Chris Kuiper with the Roanoke County Police Force. Chris, thank you for being here today, and I also want to thank you for being such an integral part of this workshop. Referring to the Violence in the Workplace workshops, it's part of the Active Shooter series.
Yes.
How did you get the idea to do an active shooter series?
Sure.
Where did it come from?
We, as active shooter instructors for Roanoke County Police Department, we're all SWAT trained. We're either former SWAT officers or current SWAT officers. And what had happened was we train and train and train for this type of event to occur. Now, what happens is we thought about, well, what happens about the civilians that are caught in these type of situations, how do we protect them?
Right.
So we came up with this program.
It was perfect. I mean, it was absolutely perfect because, as I was talking to Chief Hall earlier, it helps economic development fulfill
Yes.
so many goals by, you know, providing assistance to the business community, increasing communication, and you've done that. And not only are you training them as business people, you're taking that a lot farther.
Yes, we are actually bringing in businesses, thankfully with your help, and teaching them how to deal with workplace violence issues as well as active shooter issues. And we teach them a certain protocol that would help keep them more safe if that situation ever occurs in their place of business.
And they could use it here in the library.
Absolutely.
At home, in the
Yes.
shopping center.
Yes.
It's great training all the way around.
Yeah, these type of strategies can work anywhere, whether you're with your family, at a ballpark, at a shopping mall, or at work, or anywhere.
Oh, it makes perfect sense. I think the backbone of the workshop has been trying to get everybody to either take the emergency action plan they have now
Yes.
and bring it up to another level, or to start from scratch and create one. And you've developed several PowerPoint presentations, and you've really been walking people through step by step. What are the basics of emergency action plan?
Well, what we want people to do, businesses to do, is look at their business specifically. What could happen there? And a lot of things can happen, and it just doesn't involve workplace violence and an active shooter type situation. But we go over every type of scenario, every type of situation that can occur at their business and how to deal with that situation, whether it's weather-related.
Of course, it would work for weather too, yeah.
Exactly. You know, chemical spill, up to an active shooter or a robbery, anything criminal in nature. We walk through it step by step and how to develop some sort of protocol on how to deal with those situations.
Okay. And I think probably one of the things that stood out to me that made the most sense, you know, they say it's not common sense till somebody points it out to you.
Exactly.
And I felt like this sitting in on your workshop was that you come in and you teach these people how to help you, you
Exactly.
know, which I never thought about, but that's
Yes.
a critical component.
Absolutely. Their emergency response plan,
Right.
and the planning of that, usually, and we encourage them to include the police department as well as the fire department. Like, for example, if there was a workplace violence issue, if there was an active shooter type of situation, you know, we want to go over our tactics with them,
Right.
to make sure they know exactly what we're doing, what our goals are, to stop that active shooter situation from occurring, to slow it down. So we give the businesses and individual strategies on how to react when law enforcement arrives.
Right. Well, you talked about other things that I didn't think about, I guess, until you're in that situation.
Sure.
You don't, but where are areas that you can go in the business and lock yourself down? Or evacuation plans, and how those
Exactly.
evacuation plans, again, go back to what you just talked about, whether it's a weather-related emergency, whether it's an active shooter, whatever it is.
Yes.
But I thought one of the best was you ask everybody to provide a list to the police department of people to contact and
Yes.
cell phone numbers.
Yes.
So that way, people who could in the building contact you and let you know what was going on, you'd be so much better prepared for
Yes,
that.
absolutely. And how their plan is developed, we react off their plan. And as long as a business has a plan, it's going to make them that much safer in reacting to whatever situation is handed to them at that point. And we react off that. We know exactly where their staging areas are outside of the business. We know exactly who to contact. We know who to call, who the primary people are that we need to notify. And it works hand in hand.
And it makes a difference.
Absolutely. And also, we become more familiar with their business as well.
And that's a key point.
Yes.
Sergeant Kuiper, thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank you
going
for
over the
having me.
protocols. And we want to take this opportunity together to encourage any business watching to get involved with
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
because it's all about community safety.
Absolutely.
Thank you, and stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is Chief Howard Hall of the Roanoke County Police Department. I'd like to thank the almost 80% of Virginians who already wear their seatbelt. However, there were still 310 people who died last year in Virginia while unrestrained. Seatbelts are the best defense in a crash and save thousands of lives each year. During the Click It or Ticket campaign, we will have officers out day and night aggressively enforcing Virginia's occupant protection laws. If you are caught not wearing a seatbelt or using a child seat as required, you will get a ticket. The warnings are over. Click it or ticket.
Well, welcome. We're in North County at the new Walmart Neighborhoods Market store, and joining me is the new store manager, Kay Gilmore. Kay, it's been a great morning. Thank you for inviting us to be here.
You're welcome. Good morning, Melinda.
Thank you. Well, the grand opening just finished. You just had all the associates, your management. We had a bunch of folks in from the county, and we are in a Walmart neighborhood market. Tell us the difference between the neighborhood market store and a super center for Walmart.
Difference in the neighborhood market is we're putting those markets into the rural, smaller neighborhoods.
Yes.
So we're tight fit, we're community, and we fit. The neighborhood market fits in our community.
And I know from our records that the county, probably your capital investment was somewhere around $3 million. But how many square feet does a neighborhood market have?
42,000 square feet for a neighborhood market.
And that's significantly smaller than a super center.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
And about how many employees have you hired to date?
I have 89 associates between full-time and part-time.
Okay, and thank you for that. We appreciate you creating all those jobs. So let's talk about what you did in association with the grand opening. Walmart has a very distinct tradition of giving grant money away in the community. What did you do today?
Yes, ma'am. Walmart donated $8,000 to the locals. We gave money out to Manna. We gave money out to Game and Fisheries. We also gave money out to Southwest Virginia Alliance Safe Babies. And Coca-Cola was here with us today, and they donated $1,000 to the county fire department behind the building. And we think that's always a privilege and an honor to be able to do that.
Thank you, and I know I speak on behalf of our fire and rescue about how much they appreciate being recognized in that manner. And you also do something else that I think is extremely important and very special, and you have a commitment to hiring veterans.
We do. I actually have veterans in my store that have been hired, and
great.
They're here with us today.
That's wonderful. I love hearing that. Where do you go from here? I mean, you're open now 24/7 from now on?
To be the best store in the community that we can be, and we welcome all of the neighborhoods to our store.
That's wonderful, Kay. It really is. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate the fact that you're opening 3 stores in the Valley, and Roanoke County was one of the sites that you chose. We appreciate your capital investment. We appreciate the jobs you've created. We just appreciate everything that you're doing as far as this Walmart store, and we hope you're very successful in 2015. And call us if there's anything we can do, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Roanoke County has launched a new generation of public geographic information system GIS applications that allow greater and easier access to the county's mapping, tax parcel, zoning, and government services data. The new application can be found in the new Maps and Apps gallery through the county's GIS page. A separate desktop computer application leverages new technology to provide citizens with 3-dimensional imagery of the county. Efficient delivery of technology services is a core mission for Roanoke County's GIS Services Group. To check out the new technology, visit roanokecountyva.gov/GIS.
Thanks for joining us on Roanoke County Business Partners. We really enjoyed introducing you to our 2 newest business partners, Magnets USA and the Walmart Neighborhood Market. We also liked giving you a glimpse into the Active Shooter Series workshops that we're currently hosting with the police department for the business community. If you have a program that you would like to have on RVTV with our show, please give me a call at 540-772-2185. Thank you.